Thank you for joining us for Health Talks. I'm Gail Hogan, and today we're talking with Dr. Sameek Roychowdhury about a new pancreatic cancer clinical trial that can be conducted completely by telehealth. No traveling for therapies. Doctor, thank you for joining me. How does this study work?
So this is a clinical trial to offer a novel therapy for patients who have metastatic or stage 4 pancreas cancer. And the idea is we can reach them wherever they are in the United States. So they never have to come to Columbus, Ohio, or the James Cancer Hospital, but we can still offer them a novel therapy tailored to their cancer.
How do you do that through telehealth?
So through the pandemic, we have learned that telehealth is a great way to deliver care. And we also learned that we could do clinical trial care, but that wasn't sort of the intent. It was sort of an emergency situation. We had patients who were on a clinical trial for cancer treatment, and we adapted. So can we now do telehealth on purpose and take advantage of the fact that it's wireless, right? You can reach somebody anywhere. So instead of having to travel, instead of having the cost, the physical burden, a barrier to traveling for expert care on your cancer, you can access that through a telehealth-enabled trial like this.
How does it work? Lay it out for me.
So a patient may be referred and they have a genetic alteration that matches our clinical trial. They have pancreas cancer. We get their records, we get their information, we set up a first appointment, and we'll have a televisit just like this through a camera. Some of that may be by phone if necessary. And we find out how they're doing. We find out what they're feeling, what their symptoms are. We talk about their CAT scans that they had done locally with their local oncologist. We look at their local blood work. And if they qualify for the study, they sign up electronically with a consent form where we talk about the ins and outs of the study. And then we ship them a drug. It's a pill bottle with enough pills for a month's supply. And once they receive it, they do the therapy locally, meaning they take the pills every day locally. They also get an eye exam as part of our study so we can monitor one of the side effects that can happen. So everything happens in their hometown. So it might be within 30 minutes of where they live where they can get all of the work done. But the pill and therapy comes from Columbus, Ohio.
Why pancreatic cancer? Why that focus?
So through research over the past 8 or 9 years at the James, we've learned that patients who have pancreas cancer and a mutation in their tumor with the FGFR gene can benefit from a therapy that targets that gene. And so this is what we call targeted therapy or smart drug therapy. So the gene has a mutation that's in their cancer, but not the rest of their body. So by giving them this therapy that goes after that gene, we're trying to minimize the side effects, but maximize killing cancer.
And maximize the number of people that are in this study, I would think, because it's nationwide, right?
Exactly.
So how does that help the study?
So if we tried to do this particular study in pancreas cancer, we might have to open 150, 200 clinical trial site locations across the country. And that would be very costly. And chances are most drug companies that we tried to partner with would not even want to do that. It wouldn't be worth the cost of doing that for this subset of patients with pancreas cancer. So this is probably something that we would never have been able to pursue. But now that we have telehealth as a tool and can physically accomplish that with our experience from the pandemic, now drug companies are thinking about how do we incorporate telehealth. They haven't done it yet. So there's just a handful of clinical trials that I know of that are being developed in this way, which are completely enabled by telehealth. But once we do it and show pharma how to do it, I think more drug companies will support clinical trial efforts like this.
So this is, in a way, unique to the James at Ohio State?
It very much is. We've had great support from our leadership in our Cancer Clinical Trials Office. This is a new way of doing clinical research, and we're fortunate to be able to accomplish that here.
So when a person is diagnosed and they're stage 4, is that when they can enter this trial?
So they can talk to their oncologist. One of the things that has to happen is they have to have genetic testing, and so we can advise about the proper testing that can be done. Their local oncologist can help facilitate that. And if they have a gene mutation that matches our clinical trial, we can try to get them into our study.
How long do you think this will last? And in the end, what do you hope to find?
For this particular study, we plan to treat about 40 patients. We think we'll find those patients in our trial within the first 2 years of the study. They'll continue the treatments as long as the treatment is benefiting them. And so the study may continue for hopefully a couple years after that even.
Could this be applied to other cancers then in the long run?
After this study and others like it, we think that this is a way forward for the field of precision oncology, matching patients to a therapy based on the genetics of their cancer. I think the biggest barrier has been finding the patients and matching them to trials. And geographically, if there's a trial that's available for you, but it's more than a couple hours away, most people can't do that. It's very costly. It takes a lot of physical effort, time off from work. So most people can't do that. So telehealth removes that barrier.
Are you finding patients who want to be part of this?
So far, we've been contacted by, 20 patients already asking about the trial, and we've given them advice on what kind of testing they need. We've reviewed their testing. So I think there's a lot of interest, not only from this country, but from around the world. People are asking about this. Our study is not international, but you can imagine it one day becoming international too.
And if someone does want to enroll, how do they go about that?
So they can contact me directly, and we'll facilitate getting their records, getting their questions answered, and figuring out if this is right for them.
Thank you, Dr. Roychowdhury. Very interesting. Good luck on your study.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us for Health Talks.